I would like to welcome Ms. Suchi Amanati from Center for Physiotherapy Studies, Faculty of Medical and Health Sciences, Widya Husada University, Indonesia. Her area of interest is exercise and biomechanics, and Ms. Suchi completed her degree in physiotherapy at Muhammadiyah Surakarta, Indonesia in 2009, master degree in public health at Semarang State University, Semarang in 2018. She is currently the head of physiotherapy program in Widya Husada University, and as lecturer, she teaches exercise, biomechanics, and assessment and diagnosis physiotherapy. She is an active member of Indonesian Physiotherapy Associations, IPA, and the Indonesian Physiotherapy Higher Education Association. Now, without further ado, I would like to welcome Ms. Suchi Amanati, and the platform is yours.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Ida. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay. Firstly, I would like to say thanks to you ini. Terima kasih untuk Bapak Hadir, Ms. Ida Lena atas liputannya. Still can see in the screen.
Yes, we can see the screen. Does the participant, can you see the screen?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Thank you very much. Sorry?
Appear the presenter note tu, Dr. Ida. Okay, this
Presenter note. Okay, sekejap ya.
Yeah.
How about now?
Still waiting. Okay.
Okay, do we see these slide presentations or we see the presenter note?
Yes, now I can see the slide.
Okay.
Okay, can I start right now? Okay, thank you, Miss Ida. Okay, in this session, I'm going to talk about physiotherapy in osteoarthritis knee. Now let's have a look for in the overview of osteoarthritis knee. Next slide, Miss Ida. Okay, according to the WHO, knee osteoarthritis is a long-term chronic disease. It's characterized by the deterioration of the cartilage in joints, which result in bones rubbing together and creating stiffness, pain, and impaired movement in the knee joint. And knee osteoarthritis symptoms include pain, decreased mobility, decreased muscle strength, stiffness, decreased physical function, and quality of life. Osteoarthritis is related to the degenerative, is typically start after age of 40 with slow progression. It is also associated with a variety both of modifiable and non-modifiable risk factor, including obesity, lack of exercise, genetic predisposition, bone density, occupational injury, trauma, and gender. And osteoarthritis divided into two types. The primary osteoarthritis is articular degeneration without any apparent underlying cause, and secondary osteoarthritis is the consequence of either an abnormal concentration of force across the joint with post-traumatic cause. It can be happen in people of all races and background. And next slide. Okay, this is the osteoarthritis prevalence. So according to the WHO, it's estimated 15 until 20% of world population will have symptomatic of osteoarthritis. 1/3 of them are severely disabled. And the pie chart below is the distribution of osteoarthritis. And knee osteoarthritis is the leading type of osteoarthritis. Next slide. And this is the osteoarthritis prevalence in Indonesia based on Riskesdas 2018. The number of osteoarthritis in Indonesia increased due to the population aging. It reached almost 15%, and women more affected than men, and it more happened in the village than in the city. Next. Okay, and this is the progression of osteoarthritis. So in the early stage of disease, we can find a degeneration of cartilage, and the late stage of disease, there are loss of cartilage and bone hypertrophy there. Next. And this is in the stage of osteoarthritis by Kalgren and Lauren grading scale. So if there are normal, so there are no feature of osteoarthritis. Grade 1 is the full, so there is minute osteopathy and the full significant. And grade 2 is mild. There are definite osteopathy, but still normal joint space. And grade 3 is moderate joint space reduction, and grade 4 is severe. So there are joint space greatly reduced and subchondral sclerosis. Next. And this is the common of osteoarthritis, such as joint pain, swelling, stiffness, and then morning stiffness and decreased function of the affected joint. There are grating and catching sensation, and joint instability and buckling of the knee, bony growth, and then loss of mechanical integrity of the joint. Next. Okay, this is the ORC guidelines for the non-surgical management of knee osteoarthritis. It divided into 2 treatment here, core treatment and recommended treatment. For core treatment, we can find exercise and training, then self-management and weight management. For land-based exercise, the evidence says that found small but clinically relevant for short-term benefit of land-based exercise for pain and physical function in knee osteoarthritis. The duration and type of exercise program included in this research varied widely, and research were generally positive among land-based exercise. And for water-based exercise, it found small to moderate of short-term benefit for function and quality of life, but only minor benefit for pain. And for self-management program, it found moderate benefit for chronic musculoskeletal pain condition or measure of pain and disability. Then for weight reduction, it's one reduction in pain and physical disability for overweight participants with knee osteoarthritis. And then for recommended treatment, divided into knee osteoarthritis and multi-joint osteoarthritis with and without comorbid. Next, Ms. Ida. And this is nice guidelines, so it's similar like ORC guidelines. The core divided into 3 treatment here. The first one is education, then exercise and training, and the last one is weight loss if there are any overweight. Next. Okay, the goals for the core treatment is the first one, education, is to increase understanding the disease to our patient and dispel some myths such as the pervasive belief that exercise it may be damage of the joint. Then exercise is include strengthening, then aerobic fitness and any type of flexibility. Then weight loss to limit joint stress. Next. Okay, so for overview, before prescribing a physical activity, we can ask our patient about any risk from them and how to risk stratify our patient. What are the key component of the physical activity and how to our patient can get started from it, about barrier and adherence, maintenance and prevention of the relapse, and making any modification for more severely affected patient. Next. Okay, things to learn is describe the symptoms, then knowing the underlying disease process and make a common treatment approach to our patient, then making identify strategies for reducing unnecessary joint stress during and after the exercise, then making list exercise variation for the knee, then describe the benefit, challenges, and guidelines related to the exercise that we apply to our patient. Next. Okay, the first one is we can apply the pre-intervention assessment before. So there are 4 steps here. The first one is medical history, then making any risk stratification or classification in our patient, then making asking about their exercise history, state of goals, then state of change or motivation. Next. About the section of medical history. So we can ask, is there any heart pressure of there? How about their heart condition? And is there any pain of their chest in rest or when they during their daily activity or living or when they do the physical activity? Is there any loose balance or other diagnosed with another chronic medical condition? Is there any prescribed of medication, or maybe their bone or have joint problem? It could be worse by becoming more active. Next. Then we can ask too about their other medical condition, or they have these other medical conditions such as arthritis, cancer, heart disease, and any other medical condition. Okay, next. Okay, after we ask about that question, then we can make a PAR-Q outcomes here. So if our patient answer no to all of the question, then our patient has ready to become more physically active. And if our patient answer yes to one or more of the questions, so we should to looking for the license of healthcare practitioner before our patient can get really active, or it may be delay in our patient because our patient feeling not well because they feel illness or they are pregnant and their health changes. Next. Okay, and after we ask about their condition, we can make this stratification or classification, and this is the SCSM classification. So class A is apparently healthy, no CVD at all. So our patient get ready to get moderate intensity of physical activity without further screening. And they are class B and C, so it should take an examination and maximal exercise test before our patient can participate in moderate or any vigorous of physical activity. And if our patient in class D, so it could be contraindication to our patient to do the physical activity. And similar like ORC Guidelines, but in ORC Guidelines, they're stratified in no comorbid and with comorbid. With comorbid is low comorbid and high comorbid, something like that. Okay, next. Okay, after we ask about patient medical history and making a risk stratification, then move to the exercise history. So we can ask our patient about their exercise history. Next slide, Ms. Ida. Next slide. How about their previous physical activity? How about their current physical activity? Do they enjoy or not enjoy? What kind of it? Is it solitary and team or indoors or outdoors and formal or informal? Next. Okay, then we can state the goals to our patient. Next, Ms. Ida. Then the types of goal is depend to our patient. It may be different one to another. So, for example, like pain reduction, or is it for weight loss, or for become healthier, and etc. Next. Then we can make a state of change or motivation to our patient. Next. We can look at the progress to our patient from the pre-contemplation, contemplation, then preparation, action, and then the last one is maintenance. Next. Okay, after we do all of the pre-intervention assessment, then we get ready to making any prescription of physical activity or exercise to our patient. Next. Then this is two things that we can apply to our patient by lifestyle advice, then make a formal prescription or referral. Next. For advice, it still be specific, though, so it depends on the goal setting. So be specific, then measurable, so we can measure it with measurement. For example, like if our goal is to reduce pain, so we can use any pain measurement to measure it. Then attainable, so that we can receive it. Then relevant to the patient condition, then time bound, so there are a time limit to this goal. So it should be in this SMART. Okay, next. Okay, and for prescribing the physical activity or exercise in our patient, we can use this FIT principle. Many experts suggest these guidelines with frequency, intensity, time, and type. About frequency, so we do most days in a week, at least 3 until 5 days per week, and intensity exercise with moderate, then time in 30 minutes and 60 minutes, or maybe we can break it into 10 minutes each. Then the type of the exercise, such as cardio or strength exercise or flexibility exercise. Don't forget to adequate warm up and cool down to our patient so that it can reduce the joint pain. Next. Okay, for recommendation of osteoarthritis prescription, if our patient in very active disease status, so emphasize flexibility, then strength training, and then if irrespective of disease status, so it recommended the low intensity exercise, both of land or water-based exercise. And the evidence says that moderate to high intensity exercise for 30 minutes at least 3 times a week. The goal is to increase oxygen uptake capacity, muscle function, bone density, and ability to carry out daily chores. Okay, next. Okay, and thanks for caution and adaptation. So the first one is introduce the physical activity slowly. At the beginning or initial loads, it should be smaller than generally recommended. Then increase it in every 2 until 3 weeks. Then consult potential initial increase in symptoms. Then step down as well as up. So according to the disease status on our patient. Next. And this is the example prescription of the exercise and physical activity of our patient. So it depends on the objective. For example, like flexibility, so we do it daily when the intensity, sensation of stretch and no pain at all. And another objective is to increase strength and improve muscle endurance. So our goal is for all major muscle group, and it may be different. If our goal is to increase strength, so our intensity is 50 until 80% of 1 RM, but for endurance, it's about 30 until 40% of 1 RM. Next. Okay, the first one is range of motion or flexibility guidelines. So the goals from this exercise is to decrease joint stiffness, maintain normal range of motion, and load or unload joint to promote joint circulation, nutritional in, and then metabolic out. And stretching can increase range of motion by lengthening soft tissue structure, and it should be performed regularly or daily. Next. Okay, how to do it? We can move slowly and gently through the full range of motion, but not pass on the point. And reduce the number of repetition if there are any active inflammation, and avoid overstretching. Move the affected joint gently, use a slow, steady rhythm, and do not force it. Okay, next. Okay, this is the example of the range of motion or flexibility. So stretching hamstring, yeah. The intensity is lengthened to a position of mild tension with a prolonged static stretching. And we can teach our patient the difference between muscular strength. So this is in the muscular strength and this is in the joint pain. And the duration is 20 until 30 seconds per repetition. Then frequency, do it daily for repetition 1 until 3 times. Next. Okay, for strength training, the goal is to improve in muscle strength, muscular endurance, pain relief, and improve muscular efficiency. So the key goal of this strength training for clients with osteoarthritis is to increase muscular support, as we can know that muscle is the active support to the joint to decrease the joint stress. Okay, next. Okay, and this is the strengthening tips for patient with osteoarthritis. So we can start with isometric or low load exercise, then gradually transition with isotonic or dynamic exercise. Even it is ideal to perform an exercise through the complete range of motion, but we should to make our client perform a certain strength exercise in more limited range motion before to avoid joint pain. Next. Okay, the progression guidelines is ensure our client that they can easily perform it correctly, then increase resistance by no more than 10% each week, and don't change too much things at the time, so that if there are any problems, so we know what may cause of the problem. Don't forget to review the posture, alignment, and body mechanic of our patient, because the biomechanical stress it may increase unstable or misalignment of the joint, and keep it neutral. Okay, next. Okay, and isometric muscle strengthening allows our patient to strengthen the muscle without moving the joint. So the goal is to minimize atrophy, maintain and increase static strength, then improve tone to prepare for dynamic. And the intensity is good quality contraction of the muscle. The frequency start with 5 until 10 repetition daily, then proceeded until 3 and 15 repetition. For duration, hold isometric contraction in 5 until 10 seconds. Next. Okay, this is the example of the isometric muscle strengthening. The first one is quadricep set. So we can place a towel round placed underneath the knee, then instruct our patient to contract their quadricep muscle. And then the second one is we can instruct our patient to lift the leg about 45 degrees from the floor, then pause and slowly lower it. Okay, next. Okay, then here we go to the isotonic muscle strengthening. The goal is to increase muscular power and endurance. Then intensity, don't forget to start with like resistance before approximately 10% in 1 RM, then progress to light to moderate resistance 40 until 60% of 1 RM per frequency 2 until 3 times per week, then duration 15 until 30 minutes. Okay, next. Okay, strengthening exercise for the hip, it may be important too for the individual with knee osteoarthritis, because weakness of the quadricep, hip abductor, and hip extensor, it can promote faulty alignment on the knee to accelerate asymmetrical wear on the articular cartilage. But do it carefully, because some of the quadricep exercise, such as full range of motion exercise, it might actually exacerbate symptoms and contribute to further degeneration of the joint. Next. Okay, this is the sample of the dynamic muscle strengthening of the knee. So the patient position is about 30 degrees of the knee. Then instruct our patient to lift their leg. This position is minimize joint compression forces, and it can prevent further degeneration of articular cartilage. Next. Okay, this is the terminal knee extension. So with seated position, we can instruct our patient to extension that knee. Next. This is type of the closed chain exercise with terminal knee extension. So instruct our patient to move their leg 30 degrees of flexion, then actively contract the quadriceps when they moving back into full extension. Next. It is the typical of the Colossian tool with step up and down of the box. Next. Okay, and this is the leg press. We can use it when our patient cannot tolerate full weight bearing exercise. Next. Or a typical exercise with wall slide or wall ball partial squat. So we can use a ball placed in the small of the back in our patient, then instruct the patient to move the buttock. Okay, next. Okay, next. Next, Miss Nat. Okay, for functional training. For functional training, back for functional training. Okay, we can practice an activity daily living, so such as picking an item from the floor and then sit to stand position, and adaptation this exercise based on our patient fitness or lifestyle. Next. Then other exercise consideration is posture. So provide our client with postural reminder during exercise. Useful instructional tools like chest up, chin in, shoulders back, belly button in, then buttocks tight and knees soft. It's not just about for aesthetic, but for biomechanical alignment and energy efficiency. Next.
Ms. Suchi, we have another 5 more minutes before
Okay.
your 30 minutes. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, next, Miss Ida. Okay, and this is neutral alignment for the posture. So knees slightly bent, and then pelvic neutral pelvic, shoulders and scapula back, and then head upright. Okay, next. Okay, this is an example of the postural training. So lengthen the anterior structure of the trunk, then strengthen the posterior ones. Okay, next. Okay, then for balance training. So this is help our patient to develop static and dynamic balance. We can make any challenge, be it progression from double limb to single limb stance activities, then apply tip to walking, retro walking, or lateral walking. Then we can use an equipment with unsteady surfaces, such as light pads or Bosu balls. Okay, next. Okay, and this is for body mechanic training. So the basic rules here is maintain an upright spine, then hold objects close to the body, then avoid twisting. Turn the shoulder and hip together. Next, Miss Ida. Okay, and this is aerobic exercise for osteoarthritis. So this is the goals for the aerobic exercise for osteoarthritis. Okay, next. This is the example of the aerobic exercise, such as walking, bicycling, and swimming. Next. Okay, for intensity, if our patient are deconditioned or have not exercised over 3 months, so start with 40 until 60% of heart rate reserve. And if our patient in average level of fitness, so we can start with more than 60% of heart rate reserve. Don't forget to monitoring heart rate, perceived exertion, and with talk test. Okay, next. For the duration, the beginning, the initial phase, so consist of short bots before then progressive. It's better to breaking up into multiple bots. For example, like 3 in 10 minutes or 2 in 15 minutes, it may be tolerated or better than 30 minutes walk because it may produce the knee discomfort or swelling. And for frequency, do it 3 until 3 days per week. So it's based on the fitness and joint response from our patient. Next. Then cycling tips, pay attention to the seat hikes, then increase intensity by increasing RPM, then instruct our patient to changing gears so that it can minimize the knee stress. Next. Okay, upright posture, it may reduce risk and spine stress. Then right now on, there are many choices of seat and saddle, so it can be comfortable for cycling experience, then limit standing on pedals and spinning class to reduce the knee stress. Next. Okay, for walking tips, avoid bank surface, then start with flat or smooth car, then choose supportive athletic shoes, then recommended sock with a low cotton is better. Then client with knee osteoarthritis may better tolerate 2 until 3 short bursts of walking than 1 long bout. Next. Okay, this is the goals for the aquatic exercise. Next. Okay, this is in the tips. So do it in warm water environment and start with easy to moderate intensity interval and short duration first. Okay, next. Okay, for knee osteoarthritis recommendation, so focus on quadriceps strengthening, then decrease obesity to reduce the joint stress, then choose activity that imitate activity daily living. In this case, posture are better. Then assess our client or patient to alignment and muscle imbalance. Then strengthen the hip and stretching the that muscle. Okay, next. Okay, for summary, do it consistency and frequency, then goal-oriented, and don't forget to state of change. Don't try and change too much at one time, and be specific with the principle. And don't forget to always looking for the support system, such as family member, and always follow up. Okay, thank you for your attention. I guess that's all for my presentation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Ibu Suci. It has
Okay.
been a pleasure to see your sharing sessions. Okay, before we move on, okay, now next is the question and answer sessions. We have one question from Cik Mak Yunus. Okay, do you have any advice on which range, inner, middle, or outer range to be focused for isometric exercise, since the exercise is range specific?
Okay, thanks for your question, Miss Pak Yunus.
Yeah, Pak
Do you
Yunus.
have any advice? Oh, okay. So it depends on the range of osteoarthritis. So it depends on the stage of the osteoarthritis that we apply. As we know that isometric exercise is just hold on that position. So there are no more lengthen for it. So it depends on the stage of osteoarthritis. As I say that maybe from Kalkeren and Lawrence like that. So the principle is to endurance if we look at the isometric exercise.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Suci. I hope that answers your question